Hi, my name's Bailey, and I'm going to be talking to you about what we learned in Module 1 of U.S. History 11A. Um, so basically, this unit was just kind of an introduction of everything that we were going to learn, and just kind of talked about different types of new coming and kind of the time of the Civil War, industrial era, and the Gilded Age, and kind of talked about a lot of inventors of the time. And so I'm just going to talk about a little bit of that and the things that I enjoyed. So the Gilded Age was a period of immense economic change. So basically, it was the start of the New World versus the Old World. And a lot of people had a lot of controversy when it comes to that. Some people were very, oh, let's go. And then other people were like, I'm not feeling this, which is kind of normal. Some people are going to go with change and others are going to have a harder time with it. But there was a lot of issues, like I had just said, culturally, educationally, ethically, economically. Everything was kind of all chaotic during this time. And this is a time right before the Great Depression, so the stock market started crashing and everything was kind of falling apart because not everybody agreed with everything. This is also the time of industrialization. Industrialization was the development of industries in a country or region on a wide scale. Um, so that's basically any social and economic changes. Socially, the population was growing a lot, and economically, there's a lot of industries, new industries, and other things that kind of led to this time period. But during this time, there was a lot of immigration, and a lot of people wanted to come to the United States because of all of this industrialization and economic growth, and right after the Civil War. And so America was really booming during this time period. Um, this is probably the time period that America was the most upbeat and happy towards the world. Or in other words, like the the country that was growing the most, which was really good for this time period. Um, because it showed that we are willing to grow and expand and we're not willing to just stay back at like the old ages. But um so a lot of people saw this around the world, and so in New York there was this island called Ellis Island. All the immigrants had to go through it. It was honestly kind of difficult, which I will get into in a little bit. But Ellis Island kind of led to all of these new labor unions and new industries and everything because um, all of the immigrants wanted new work. They wanted some place to work, some place to make money so they can start a family in America. And so Ellis Island wasn't the easiest thing to get through. It was very difficult and they had to go through long journeys and everything else. They kind of they really struggled. A lot of people died on their way to America, but they were willing to take that risk for their families. A lot of people, looking back on stories and like kind of these family tales that passed down from generation to generation, even still to this day, there's a lot of immigrants that struggle trying to get to America. But through Ellis Island, they would have to take ships and they would be stacked on top of each other, like hundreds of people stuffed into boats or ships or these like little, like, um, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. But anyways, they would be stuffed into these dark rooms, barely getting fed, kind of just in their own filth, all gross. They didn't have a lot of clothes, they didn't have a lot of money. Like they weren't even able to really take a suitcase, basically the things that they had in their back, and they were going. Um, Start a new life, start everything over again. And all of this was really difficult. And if that wasn't hard enough, when they got to Ellis Island, they would have to take this test. And I could tell you right now, I couldn't even pass this test. It's basically all about the country and the history and different laws and rules and regulations that the United States had, and even to this day, sometimes, well, not sometimes, some of them are still apparent and relevant nowadays. But it was really difficult, and there was this like big staircase, and if they couldn't make it up or they struggled or whatever, they would a lot of times send them home, or they weren't able to um, be immigrated into America. But if they were able to get up the staircase, basically they had to see this doctor, and if the doctor didn't clear them, they also couldn't come, and then they had the choice to change their name or keep it, and other things like that if they passed all these tests. And even after that, it was hard to find jobs, even though there was all these new industries and all these new manufacturers that needed all this help and everything. So immigrants probably had a really hard time, but at the end of the day, that's what made America grow, and that's what made America what it is today. Um, and I think that kind of stuff is the thing that drew me in the most, is learning about Ellis Island and everything. Like, yeah, I learned a little bit about the Gilded Age or like the Progressive Era, the things leading into the Progressive Era and everything. But I think that immigrants and the people just moving and their stories was the most interesting to me throughout this unit. But I think that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you for listening, and